So we've just arrived at Silverstone and we have got an incredible array of cars behind us. We're going to show you some of them. James says he's got a surprise for us. Don't know what that is, but we'll find out soon enough. So there's been quite a few really awesome cars we've seen so far. What's the highlights for you, James?
Honestly, I just love being here, getting to talk to people, and actually, I know it might sound silly, I still love just seeing the cars. In the hall there, they have a Daytona SP3. That's the first time I've actually seen one of those in the flesh, and it does look incredible. Like every inch, like the remake of like an old 70s 512 or something, like the race car. I really like that, but just also getting to talk to lots of different people, you know, both Ferrari owners, Ferrari fans, and just, you know, general motoring fans. It's just nice, it's sociable, that's what I like.
One of the cool things I think that happened when we went into the media centre, we bumped into Chris Hartley, who's the commentator for today. Damani's actually done some commentating work with Chris back when he was in karting right here at Silverstone.
Yeah, that was pretty cool bumping into him. I think let's go have a proper look around at some of the cars and check out what the day's going to be like. Now this is something you don't often see at a Ferrari event, especially a Ferrari event like this, a modified Ferrari. Most of the cars here today have been stock. Yes, of course, you get the car with the exhaust system, but you don't really count that as modified, do you? If you just slap an exhaust on, that's what most people with sports cars and supercars would want to do anyway. But this one's got a carbon fiber front lift, carbon fiber speciale style hoods with the hood vents. Now, this isn't my personal cup of tea, however, it is nice to actually see a bit of individuality here. Obviously, everything else that we have here today is normally had their individuality put on them by their manufacturer spec, and that's all well and good if you buy the car from factory, but with cars of this kind of age you cannot buy one of these new anymore, so to put that stamp of your own flavour on it is really, really nice to see. I'm seeing double. There's two of the exact same spec, or at least very, very similar spec. The Challenger Stradale is one of those cars that is very, very cool. I've always wanted to try and drive one of these to see what they're like compared to a normal 360. Now the normal 360 I've driven before, and it is a very, very nice car to drive. Very darty on the front end. It's got lots of front end grip, but when that back end goes, it really, really goes. And I've only heard nothing but great things about these cars when they're driving. Brilliant looking cars, brilliant sounding cars. Yeah, pretty awesome.
Now this is one of my favourite cars, the 488 Pista, and I absolutely love this colour. And even though I am generally obsessed with buying cars in white, I could run this colour, but it would have to have gold wheels. This has got to be a car that I own one day. It's on my list.
So one of James's friends has allowed Damani to sit in what James describes as the best seats ever.
These are the best seats ever.
Best seats ever?
They are genuinely the best seats ever.
Really?
They're buckets.
Yeah.
They're ridiculously comfortable.
Yeah.
They're electric. They can like change height, so you can actually sit really, really low, and it's got great bolstering. And they're carbon. Best seats ever.
HGTE, which stands for
Handling.
Gran Turismo Evoluzione.
Very nice, very clean, looks factory new.
Yeah. Has this been on the channel before?
No, not this. I've not seen this before.
Ah. But the owner has had vehicles on here on your channel before.
The owner has had his Maserati Quattroporte. In fact, the owner was responsible for me getting a Maserati Quattroporte. I've also featured his Bentley Continental GTC Supersport and his Lexus LS600H. He's a very generous man.
Really, really, really clean, almost brand new.
Really like it.
Yeah?
I really like it. A lot more than I was expecting on something like it.
You've always had a soft spot for the 599, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah.
No,
You're a big fan of the GTO.
Oh yeah, but that's the GTO.
Yeah, but this is probably the next best thing, right?
I didn't think I was going to like it this much.
Really?
You have to have these seats. And this interior is just exquisite. Carbon. I even love this. So I pushed it to see what it was, because it says push, so you have to. And it's just a cover for the radio.
Nice.
But it's just so that you don't have to look at like a old school radio.
It's like you don't want to get out of it now.
I'm not leaving. You're going to have to pry me out.
We then went into the main hall, but unfortunately the background music was a little bit too loud in there for the audio to be usable. However, the cars in here were well worth showing you, not least the SP3 as James had mentioned earlier. Now this is based on the Ferrari Aperta chassis with an 812 superfast engine and the infotainment system from the 296. Now, whilst the design of this car was quite impressive, for my personal taste the design was just a little bit too busy, but overall its presence was nonetheless impressive. Other cars we couldn't ignore were the Ferrari F40, F50, Enzo, LaFerrari, and a beautiful 288 GTO. And looking majestic in white was the 812 Competizione. Now, I've only seen these in videos before, and I didn't realise that those black marks on the rear deck where the window would normally be are actually aero devices rather than slot gaps or vents, as they appeared to be in the videos that I'd seen before. I also didn't realise that that stripe on the bonnet is not paint, it's actually part of the aero bodywork and made of carbon fibre. Also in the hall was the quote-unquote Spider-Man spec 296, looking very elegant. The only thing I'm not a big fan of is the shape of that stripe design on the front. Some people will like it. I understand that it's got tradition and heritage in it, but personally, it's just not for me.
So now we've had a look at those, apparently James has got a surprise for us and we're not really sure what it is. Right, just recording this quickly on our phones. James's surprise was he's going to send us out on the parade laps in both of his cars.
Very excited, never driven a V12 Ferrari before. No less the first time being around Silverstone, so thanks so much to James.
And he says first time around Silverstone, the first time in a V12 around Silverstone because he has raced here several times before. I'm also gassed to be getting into the 430 Scud to drive that around Silverstone for the first time. Not my first time in a 430 around Silverstone, but my first time in a Scud. So we're going to jump in the cars and again take you along for the ride.
Driving on track in James's 550 and getting to share that with my dad was very special. Of course, having practiced, tested and raced here before, I felt completely at home, but I definitely felt a strong sense of responsibility taking James's dream 550 around the circuit, and honestly, really didn't say much while I was on track. But the smile on my face should say it all.
Can't believe we're doing this. Do you know what? I haven't been on a track in quite a while. Marty's driven this track several times and raced here. I spent a lot of time watching GoPro footage, and bizarrely, I feel completely at home, even though I think I've been around this track maybe 3 times. I feel like I actually know my way around. I've probably driven it on simulators quite a few times, but I think it's just from watching his track footage. I've done some track experiences, I've done some competition in terms of scholarship, racing scholarship type competitions. I've been a finalist in one, and I haven't been on track in absolutely forever. And this has just given me the bug again. What an epic moment.
I just wondered what the highlight for today has been for you, James.
It's just the opportunity to get here, talk to a lot of people, see a whole bunch of cars, including some that I've either forgotten or didn't know about, and I love also seeing the different colours.
What was your highlight of today? Let us know in the comments below. The biggest buzz for me was actually watching you drive around.
And my highlight of the day was of course driving around the track in the 550, that was epic. So again James, massive thanks for that.
And if you've enjoyed this video, I know you'll enjoy this video here. Please hit the like button.
Someone thought I was Lewis Hamilton. No.
This video, and see what we can see. That's so going in.